So Louis van Gaal's time as Manchester United manager is finally over after 2 years. Excuse me. And Jose Mourinho will be the next Manchester United manager. Now, before I talk about Louis van Gaal, let me just start by saying it was great to see United win the FA Cup after 12 years. I remember the FA Cup final in 2004 very well, the 3-0 win versus Millwall. And I also remember the 2005 Cup final versus Arsenal and 2000, I think it was 2007, yeah, against Chelsea. But especially the Arsenal game, because I remember United absolutely battered Arsenal in that game, and they still managed to lose on penalties, and that game was unbelievable, and I remember how pissed off I was after that game. But, so yeah, good to see United win the FA Cup, but let's get to Van Gaal. So, we all know, under Van Gaal, it's not been very good, has it? But there's been a few positives, and I don't actually dislike Van Gaal. I actually quite like him as a person, but let's get to the positives. So, of course, winning the FA Cup after 12 years. Martial is going to be a fucking superstar. Everyone can see that. Rashford, a young talent coming through the academy, and it's so good to see an academy player do well, because that's one thing I always want to see. I want to see young academy players come through and get in the first team and stay there. So to see Rashford do that, and now he's in the England squad for the friendlies, isn't he? So that's awesome. But that's about it. That's all the fucking positives I can think of for Van Gaal. No, but getting rid of a lot of the old, average players was good as well. But he also got rid of too many players. I mean, I think he should have kept Hernandez as an extra striker. Raphael and Nani. They're the players that I think United should have kept. And Evra, I wish United kept him as well, but he wanted to leave, so there's not a lot he could do about that. But now the negatives, and there's a lot of negatives when it comes to Van Gaal in the last 2 years. So I'm just going to get to the games that I remember. So I remember the game against, well, we all do as United fans, the game against MK Dons where United got smashed 4-0, and that's just not acceptable, was it? Getting beaten 4-0. Oh, man. Crazy. Let me think. Let me think to this season. Oh, yeah, the Middlesbrough game, the 0-0 game in the Carling Cup, and we lost on penalties, which was ridiculous. It's just fucking thinking about it just makes you just want to fucking, I don't know, it's mental. I also remember, what was it? Who were the games against? Christmas time, was it Bournemouth, Norwich, and was it Stoke? I think it was 3 games in a row or something like that. And see, that was a time when I thought Van Gaal was going to get sacked. I think everybody else thought he was going to get sacked. But I do believe that Van Gaal has been, the media have been absolute bastards towards him throughout his whole time at United. They've been on his back, and I mean, I don't think it's helped the situation at all. I mean, some of the criticism he's had has been definitely, he definitely deserved it. But some of it, you just think, okay, now give it a rest. You're always on his back about everything. But also, the Champions League run was awful. The group that United had, there's no way United should have struggled. That was embarrassing. And of course, they got knocked out in the Europa League against Liverpool, and that's one of United's biggest rivals, aren't they? So, and the game against Newcastle, the 0-0 I remember how pissed off I was after that game. That 0-0, it was so bad, and that's the problem with Van Gaal. It's like whenever you talk about the whole time, apart from the FA Cup win, all you talk about was just how fucking bored you were after each game. It's like you're just sitting there, you're like, oh, can you just do something? And then, was it against Sheffield United when Depay had a shot and he United crowd cheered because we had a shot. I mean, that's how bad things have got at Old Trafford under Van Gaal. Just trying to think, what else was there I could think. But then I can't remember what game it was. I'm just trying to think of what game. But anyway, forget who we were playing against. I remember a game where United, it was 0-0, and it was definitely at Old Trafford as well. And I think it was, I'm going to say Young. I'm pretty sure it was actually Young. Yeah, he had the ball out on the wing, and it was about 15 minutes or 10 minutes to go, and it was 0-0. And he had the ball. He was about to cross the ball, and there was only 2 players in the box. I mean, I was just sitting there thinking, why is no one else getting in the fucking box? Because under Ferguson, if United were pushing for a goal, they used to push like 6 or 7 players in the box. I mean, they used to really go for it, because it's like Ferguson used to always say, I'd rather, go all out for a win and just accept a fucking draw. And but that was, see, the complete differences in manager. Van Gaal was too. If Van Gaal actually would have went for more games, went for the win more, just like put teams on the back foot from the first minute, I'm pretty sure United would have won more games. But because he took that negative approach in too many matches, the other team just knew what to do. Just sit back, hit him on the break, and it happened far too many times. It was just, I mean, I tell you what, the game against Crystal Palace, it was an awful. The first half was terrible, but it's like you've seen it yourselves, where too many times where United have been fucking around with the ball between the back four and the midfield, and United have made the most back passes to the goalkeeper this year. That's unbelievable. I think it was the back pass to the goalkeeper, or was it just back passes? I don't know. But they made the most back passes this season, which is just it's so bad. And it used to drive me crazy how many times I should see a midfielder pick up the ball and there's no movement in front of him whatsoever. So he has to go sideways. But then even when there was a chance for to run into the space, attack the space, they didn't even do it. It was just like, and it's funny enough, the first goal United scored against Crystal Palace in the cup final. What happened? Rooney picked up the ball, and he just run at the Crystal Palace defence, and that makes defenders panic. If you're just passing between the midfield, like all game, all they got to do is keep their shape. They've got to move to the left, move to the right, and stay in position. It's so easy to defend against. But if you run at someone, you're drawing players out of position, and of course that's what happened, and United got the equaliser. But it didn't happen enough, and it just drives me fucking crazy. You're just saying, pass the ball forward for fuck's sake. I don't mean hoof it, I mean, play it forward, or someone make a run, somebody, why don't the fullbacks get forward more? And it was far too often where you should see one of the wide players get the ball, and the fullbacks didn't even push on. You're like, why are you not pushing on? It's driving me crazy. The only one who should do it the most was Luke Shaw. Valencia does it as well, but Darmian, I don't know, he just stays back all the time. I'm like, just fucking make a run, go in the overlap, but it never happened. Well, it did. Obviously, it did happen, but it didn't happen enough, and we didn't put teams on the back foot enough, and we didn't take the game to other teams. It was just, and that's not acceptable for a club like United. I mean, let's face it, United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, and for United to not be in the Champions League is terrible. And just some of the things that happen, awful football, boring, just it got to a point where so many fans, including myself, just didn't want to watch the game because you're just going to be bored. And football was about entertainment as well. So if you're not being entertained, and United are the only club I care about. United are the only team that I watch. I don't watch many other teams that much. I only watch United. So when I'm sitting there bored watching my own fucking club, I'm like, oh, come on. But so I was glad to see Van Gaal win the cup. It was good to see him go out on a high note, because I don't dislike him at all. I actually like him, but it just didn't work out for him, did it? And the media, and I used to like the way Van Gaal used to call out the media for their bullshit. But the media, oh my gosh, after the press conference, instead of congratulating him, say, well done, Louis, on the cup win. What most of the time they do, they say, what do you think about the game? All this sort of stuff. What do they do? So what do you think about your future? I mean, why are they fucking asking that question when he just won the cup? And I don't care. There's no way you could not have felt sorry for him after that. I'm not saying you don't want him to get sacked, because I do want Van Gaal to, well, he has been sacked, but I wanted him to get sacked. But you could not have felt sorry for him, and there was no need for that. And I must say, his statement after him being sacked was very classy. You know, very very nice statement. And I think he's a good guy, Van Gaal. It just didn't work out for him. And I think some of the shit the media are giving him, they're fucking scumbags. But fuck the media. But yeah, they're scumbags. And I don't know, man. They're just always like asking him, like, repeatedly saying to him, "What about your future? What about your future? What about your future?" And even when he just won the cup, they asked him that question. I thought, just fucking let the man enjoy his success, just for like one day. But no, it's like they couldn't even enjoy his success as winning the cup. But it's always going to happen. I knew he was going to get the sack. Even if United did win, I even think if United got top four, I still believe Van Gaal would have been sacked. So yeah, it's just I was disappointed with the way the media were doing that. You know, could have just for like, you know, one day, just let the man enjoy his success. But no, they couldn't even fucking do that, could they? And also the way the Mourinho stories have come out. You know, like, what was it, like an hour or 2 hours after the game? I mean, I thought, I don't know who leaked that, but that was very, you know, that was classless. It wasn't nice to see. Let the players and the manager just enjoy their success for 24 hours, or even till Monday. Just announce it all Monday. But no, someone spilled the beans, and I think it was Mourinho's people, which was fucking out of order. But that's football, isn't it? Unfortunately. So yeah, Van Gaal, you know, I thank him for the FA Cup after 12 years, and I also thank him for, you know, players like Martial and Rashford, especially them two. They look like they're going to be really good players, don't they? And regardless of what you think of Van Gaal, he's been a fantastic manager in his career. He's done great things, but at United, it just didn't work out for him. Simple as that. I'm actually kind of disappointed it didn't. So I really want him to do well, but I also believe that he's actually, well, when Moyes was a disaster, but I think now the club now are in a much better position now. So now Mourinho, when he takes over, hopefully makes a few top quality signings, and United are going in the right direction. And I think with Mourinho in charge, I think United will go in the right direction, or I hope so anyway. And I don't believe that Mourinho wants to be at United short term. I think he wants to be at United for a long time. I really do believe that. And I think if it goes well, I think you're going to see Mourinho at United for quite a long time. So I always believe that this is, you know, United is a club that he's always wanted to be manager of. And it's been, well, I think everybody knows that. You know, you could tell by his previous interviews in the past how he talks about United being a super massive club or whatever he says. You just know he wants to be, you know, he wants to emulate Sir Alex Ferguson, which is like, well, virtually impossible. But you know what I mean. But so yeah, Van Gaal's time is over. Definitely the right decision to get rid of him. Everybody knows that. The football's not been good enough. The results have not been good enough. And it's not been fair on the fans either. You know, some of the football the fans have had to witness in the stadium, it's been awful. I think United got, you know, they scored like 49, 48 goals in the Premier League. Again, that is awful. It's not acceptable. So he shouldn't have no complaints about being sacked. But I'm just glad that he won the FA Cup. It was nice to see. And yeah, hopefully now United can go forwards and be more successful and start challenging for the fucking title, at least. But yeah, I'm actually thinking about making a United channel. You know, just me talking about United's after the games and just in general about transfers. So let me know if you want to see this. I'm not sure what to do yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'll think about it. But thank you for watching, and it's actually good to do a video like this because it's been a long time since I've done anything related to football, so it's good to do. But anyway, thanks for watching. Later.